Here is a quick look at some excellent Morgan dollars recently sold at a heritage showcase auction. Apart from a mintmark variety known as the Micro O variety, this doubled ear is probably the most sought-after variety coin for the 1902 Morgan dollar. The coin is, as its name suggests, doubled on the obverse of the coin, displaying in particular effect to the back of Liberty's ear. This example was graded by PCGS as MS63, a grade that is only held back by some very obvious bag marks, and at auction it was sold for $1,200 even. It is a peculiarity of the 1879 O Morgan dollar from the New Orleans Mint that large quantities, relatively speaking, of lightly circulated coins appear to be on the market. But where the coin that we are looking at now is concerned, the mint mark is of greater interest, as this is, in fact, a repunched mint mark coin in the form of an O over horizontal O. You can see that the inside of the cavity of the O there are two horizontal, albeit slightly curved lines, indicating the position of the initial mint mark. Graded by PCGS as MS63, it attained a closing price at auction of $1,320. When you hear the term spitting eagle, most collectors will assume that you are talking about one of the many Washington quarters that fit that description. But this 1891 Carson City Morgan dollar is also very well known by the same name, as a result of an elongated die gouge right in front of the eagle's beak that makes it look like it is, in fact, spitting. This MS62 deep mirror-proof-like example from PCGS was sold at auction for $1,440. And now for a repunched mintmark variety coin in the form of the 1886 S over S Morgan dollar. This coin makes the cut as one of the top 100 VAM varieties and displays a clearly repunched mintmark, where the initial S mintmark seems to have been tilted slightly in a clockwise manner as the serifs, both the top and bottom of the S, remain seen on this particular specimen. This coin receives a grade of MS64 from PCGS and sold at auction for $1,440. Then we look at a remarkably attractive coin, graded both as the Pop 1 for the VAM 10 variety and the DMPL population at PCGS in general. This is the 1880 8 over 7 Morgan dollar variety. Now, it's not the most obvious variety you can find, but if you look towards the top cavity of the second 8, you'll notice a small spike on the right-hand side. This is the last remnant of what was an initial 7. This coin was slapped by PCGS as MS64 plus DMPL and at auction sold for $1,680. Then, from there, we can look at a variety from the Morgan dollar's inaugural year, 1878, and one to be found on the 8 tail feathers reverse design type. This is what is known as a spiked eye variety, a name derived from the doubling of the eyelid that makes it look like there is a small spike protruding from Liberty's eye, about a third of the way down from the eyelid itself. This beautiful coin, also displaying some delicate toning, was graded by PCGS as MS63 proof-like and sold at auction for $2,280. The 1885 Carson City Morgan dollar's low mintage of only 228,000 coins alone makes it a key issue for the series. One of the ironies about this particular coin is that it is actually more obtainable in mint state than in circulating grades. This, in large part, thanks to 148,000 of these coins found during the Great Treasury Hoard releases. This example is an absolutely stunning deep mirror proof-like example graded by PCGS as MS60 for DMPL, and at auction it was sold for $2,640. It is fairly typical for 1882 O Morgan dollars to be softly struck and lacking details, especially on the reverse of the coin. Usually, the eagle's chest lacks details and appears washed out. There are also a number of repunched and over mintmark varieties known. This example is the VAM 4 type, which is an O over S variety. Looking at the O mintmark, you can see that the diagonal slant of what used to be the original S mintmark is inside the cavity of the O. This coin was graded by PCGS as AU55, and at auction it was sold for the final price of $3,840. A question I often get asked is why so few VAM varieties make their way into the Cherry Picker's Guide and other similar references. And the fact is that some VAM coins can get a bit esoteric and do cover some very minor varieties. Still, in a case like this coin, the 1880 8/7 checkmark variety, it is easy to understand why most people might overlook it. There is a remnant of a 7 that can be seen on the upper left loop of the 8, and there is also a small die chip on the lower right loop of the first 8 that is seen on all known specimens. This coin was graded as MS63 by PCGS and sold at auction for $5,760. Here we have a stunning 1888 DMPL coin from the New Orleans Mint. In addition to the stunning eye appeal that this marvelous coin possesses, it is also a variety in the form of a VAM 9 doubled reverse, where the most prominent feature is the doubled arrows that the eagle is clutching in its talons. Both of the arrow tips, as well as the fletchings and the shaft of the arrows towards the left, you should notice considerable doubling due south of the design elements. This coin is graded as NGC MS66 Deep Proof-like and attained a closing price at auction of $7,200. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch another video about the top 10 most expensive Morgan dollars ever sold right here. Next. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.